Our story begins with the birth of Timothy Jones, a beautiful baby boy. While admiring their new baby boy in the crib, Deb and Jim hear a knock at the door. Jim says, "I wonder who that could be." In walks Amanda, Debbie's niece. Amanda exclaims, "I've come to see the baby." Jim motions Amanda over to the baby's room where Debbie's at. Debbie says, "Hey Amanda, come see this." Amanda walks over and watches the baby grasp her mother's fingers. Debbie says, "Isn't it amazing how he's interacting with me?" Amanda looks at Debbie and says, "It's fascinating. These types of interactions will teach him how to obtain objects that he wants and construct meaning. You'll be able to watch him develop cognitively. In fact, I've been learning about the well-known theorist Piaget and his stages of cognitive development, and your little one is in the first stage, which is called the sensory motor stage." Debbie says, "What's that stage consist of?" Amanda says, "Well, Piaget felt that babies develop cognitively with their body movements and by sucking and grasping objects. According to Piaget, this stage lasts until 2 years of age." Debbie exclaims, "It's going to be exciting to watch him grow." 11 months have passed. Debbie and Amanda are out shopping and realize it's time to pick up Timothy from daycare. When they arrive to the daycare, they notice little Timmy through the window, playing with a ball in a rectangular box. He would place the ball through the hole at the top of the rectangular box, then pull the knob at the end of the box and retrieve the ball. Debbie explains to Amanda, "Wow, he couldn't do something like that 2 months ago." Amanda replies, "He's developed object permanence." Debbie says, "What's object permanence?" And Amanda replies, "Remember when I mentioned Piaget before? Object permanence is a development in the sensory motor stage I told you about. A child has developed object permanence when they're able to understand that even though an object disappears, it still continues to exist. Timmy knows that the ball still exists, even though he drops it in the rectangular box. You know that he knows it still exists because he knows that he can retrieve it by pulling on the knob at the end of the box and grabbing it out. A child without object permanence would think that the ball disappeared and there was no way of getting it back." Debbie states, "He's developing so rapidly. I can't wait to see how much changes in the next year or so." Some years have passed, and Timothy is now 5 years old. Jim has just bought Tim a pretend play grill and grill set. Debbie is off running errands, and Jim has to do some work around the house before her return, so Amanda has come by to help assemble the grill and grill set. Once assembled, Amanda begins acting out actions that would be performed using a grill. Timothy watches Amanda and begins to mimic her actions. Amanda also mentions the names of each food and food group that they're placing on the grill. Timothy mimics everything Amanda says. When Debbie returns home and Jim walks into the room, Amanda shows them what Timothy has learned. She asks Timmy while pointing to the food object on the grill, "What is this?" Timothy responds, "A hot dog." Amanda then asks, "What goes on a hot dog?" Timothy replies, "Ketchup and mustard." Amanda says, "Show Mommy and Daddy what we do to a hot dog on the grill." Timothy then begins to flip the hot dog over on the grill. Jim exclaims, "Neat, buddy, you're really learning a lot." Amanda says, "He's demonstrating Piaget's pre-operational stage of cognitive development. This stage lasts from 2 to 6 years of age." Who would have thought how spot-on Piaget's stages would be? Timothy is exhibiting everything in this stage. He's imitating and using symbols and gestures to communicate. Timothy is now 7 years old. Debbie is on her way to Timothy's school because he has forgotten his lunch. She walks up to the classroom door and peeks through the window on the door to make sure it's the correct classroom. She notices Timmy and a girl at a station classifying objects by their shapes. She recalls her conversation with Amanda the night before. Amanda was over for dinner, and they were discussing Timmy's progression in school. Amanda mentioned to Debbie that Timmy was reaching Piaget's concrete operational stage of cognitive development, which is from ages 7 to 11. She explained to Debbie how Timothy would begin to order and classify objects based on their similarities and differences, and that he'd be able to understand various operations clearer. Debbie thought it was ironic that she had just talked about this stage of cognitive development the night before. Now Timothy was displaying it. She gave Timothy his lunch and called Amanda after leaving the school to tell her about this new discovery. Many years have gone by now, and Timothy has continued to develop cognitively. He is 13 years old and in Piaget's final stage of cognitive development, which is the formal operational stage. He has completed, with the help of his cousin Amanda, and turned in his science fair project. Timothy's science fair project has been selected as one of the best and will be entered into the competition. His teacher, Mrs. White, has put everyone's science fair projects on display around the classroom for everyone to view since it's parent night at the school. Debbie invited Amanda to come along because she helped Timothy with the project. Jim explains to Timothy, "We're so proud of you." Debbie turns to Amanda and says, "Isn't he something? He's really been working hard and excelling in school. I think we're going to take him on a vacation for his great work." Amanda replies, "You should. He's going to do great things in life. It's been amazing watching him develop cognitively throughout the years. He's really followed Piaget's 4 stages of cognitive development. And now that he's in the final stage of cognitive development, his thinking will become more complex, and he'll be able to reason topics and debate issues. His thinking process will continue to expand through adulthood. I'm so proud of him."